I'm Eric Pratt from US Broadcast Distribution, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Sportscast products. And Sportscast makes converters and products that work to turn scoreboard data into XML, USB, and NDI data. And that allows different products like vMix, New Blue Effects, NSport, and a variety of others to communicate directly with scoreboards. So they act as an intermediary and they offer a lot of different products to help solve that problem in a variety of different ways. Today, what we have is we have a product called the Scorebot 6000, which is their USB product. It's this little guy here. And I'm just going to switch cameras so you can take a closer look at it. So on this side, we have the serial port, and on this side, we have it hooked up via USB. And then you can hook something like this guy up to it, and this goes into your scoreboard, or you can create a custom wiring harness depending on the different kind of scoreboards that you have. So the Scorebot product would hook up to your scoreboard, and then it plugs into, in this case, the 6000 plugs directly via USB into a system which is going to take in the XML, or I will be showing how to use the NDI using their CG program here in a moment. Or they also make products which can communicate via LAN through to what they call their Sportscast cloud, which allows you to have that XML up in the cloud, and then your different products like New Blue Effects or vMix or NSport can read them from the cloud and create a local graphic overlay using that data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you using this. We're going to run it in an emulation mode because we can emulate a football game, and we'll see what it looks like bringing in an NDI source into vMix using the Splyce. So we have it hooked up to the Splyce here, and let's switch over to the UI so we can see what it looks like from a software standpoint. A scoreboard in our studio here. So if you were actually hooking this up to a scoreboard, you would select from any of the many different options that they support: Daktronics, Electromech, Fairplay, Nevco, OES, Spectrum, and more. So they have a variety of different ones that they can support, but today we'll be emulating football. So that lets us show you what it looks like without actually having to hook it up to a scoreboard. So emulating football creates data coming from the unit, and we're going to hook that up to Sportzcast CG. So we're going to launch Sportzcast CG here, and it can connect to the scoreboard data. So this is what's coming through via its XML. It tells you what the score is, what the clock is, all kinds of data necessary. And then it has presets that we've loaded here just to show you what it's going to look like. And we've set it up to output NDI. It could also output a PNG for systems that don't support NDI, but most systems support NDI graphically. And then we can also configure the various resolutions and frame rates here. And we've already done that. So the Live Sports CG allows us to create templates, and right now we have this data already populated. It knows what quarter it is, it knows the home and away, and let's take a look into vMix and see what that looks like. So in vMix, we're going to go add an NDI, and we're going to select the Live Sports CG as an input. And then all we need to do is bring it up as an overlay. So there it is up there. And anything that we want to do with this overlay, we can configure it. We can move it around so that it appears in different parts of the screen. I could make it so that it shows up at the bottom, wherever we want. So this is just an example template, but that's just to show you what it would look like from the scoreboard through the USB, connecting the XML Live Sports CG through to vMix. This could be any NDI supported application. In this case, using vMix on the Splyce makes it an exceptionally portable solution because this little controller here can fit into the same case as the Splyce and makes it ideal for on location. We also have a video showing using it in a remote powered scenario running off of battery packs. So there's a lot of different applications here. We could also be running this off of New Blue Effects Sport. So we could connect that and then connect New Blue Effects via NDI to vMix or TriCast or Wirecast or Livestream or any other NDI downstream system. Or, as I mentioned, we could also hook it up to vMix's data sources using the Sportzcast cloud. So we would add a new XML, and then we would select the URL of the XML up in the cloud, and then pull that data down and map it to a scoreboard input on the titles. So we would map one of these scoreboards to have the home and away be driven by the data source, which would be driven off, obviously, off of by the XML being pulled in, whether locally or remotely by the Sportzcast Scorebot. So Sportzcast is a great product to know if you're doing anything with scoreboards. It helps turn scoreboard data into any kind of different information, whether it's XML or USB or NDI. There's a variety of different solutions depending on your specific needs. So that's what I have on Sportzcast, and that's available now through US broadcast distribution.